My name is Mike Coco, and I'm the manager of Escape Velocity Comics. Well, the current state of the industry, I think, is good. It's in kind of a growth phase, and I think there's a couple of reasons for that. One of them is that comics are an escapist medium, and escapist media tend to do well in bad economic times. People are looking for, going to the movies to get a couple hours not to think about their problems, reading a comic, getting to not think about, just to escape into it and have a good time, leave their cares at the door. Another is that comics have become comics and kind of nerd culture in general has become ingrained in the overall culture. The fact that every year there's 4 or 5 very comic-specific movies or science fiction-specific movies that are big, that are not just small, niche movies that only comics fans are going to see, but everybody saw The Avengers, right? Everybody saw Iron Man. Between those two things, the access on the Big Bang Theory, the Simpsons having a comic store, it's become almost mainstream. I think not quite, but at least recognizable to the mainstream.
With Image, in the early 90s, when they first broke out, they flooded the market with a lot of superhero comic books. Obviously, you had Jim Lee's Wildcats flooding the market, multiple covers, Rob Liefeld's books flooding the market with mass multiple covers. That wasn't fun. It was cool, you got to see a lot of cool artwork, but it wasn't fun. It actually ruined the market for books in general. But now that the 2000s came along, then you have like everything after 2010. Saga, for example, amazing book. Okay, and I was telling you guys earlier, The Cape, which is something that Zach Howard worked on. Amazing read. Gotta check it out. The artwork is intense.
Cape, very popular book I did with Joe Hill. It was going to be kind of my last hurrah. I was thinking about it. It's probably going to be my last comic book before I get in a different field. But story just got me excited again. And then I realized, all I need are good stories. And I actually enjoy working in comic books for the most part. And so the Cape went really well. Joe and I worked really well together. Jason C. Morella. IDW allowed me to bring in Nelson Daniel, who's my colorist now. And it just turned out wonderfully. I was very happy to work on the Cape. Very different. I don't know. Brought me a lot of joy, and it obviously was very popular. Very popular. I still get royalty checks from it, and it's been over for a year and a half, 2 years. So very happy with that.
So independent books are picking up, and it's not just about Marvel, DC. Those are the top two dogs. Of course, you got Dark Horse. That's an indie that came out of nowhere and just swept the market. Star Wars, Conan, all those great titles. G.I. Joe at one point. Predator. Those are all good titles. Hellboy. It's just great books that came out. Other than that, just try to go indie.
I don't know. There's just not a lot happening with brands, and it could, but when a company like Warner Brothers owns Batman, they're not going to let anything happen to Batman. You can't kill Batman. You can't put him in rough situations or giant character transitions and conflicts and things like that. So as long as these companies are set up to protect the brand, very little in superhero comic books is going to be memorable, at least in my opinion.
Do you read comic books?
Yes.
On occasion.
Yes, I do.
I do.
No.
Favorite comic gotta be Green Lantern.
Or Captain America.
I killed giants.
I probably got my first comic book when I was 3, would be my guess. And I'm 46 now, so 43 years I've been reading.